coming to the sort of point you were making earlier about now that I'm at the end of my career, uh, that might be debatable, isn't it, Frankie? I mean, look, in the women's game, because of the way it's structured, because of the way it is, there aren't too many ladies who've actually, let's say, lost their place in this international side or the national side, and then after a period of as long as 5 years, have come, not just come back, have come storming back. I mean, just broke down the door, right? With sheer weight of performance. Why do you say it's going to be the end? I mean, I know you've had your share of injuries, and I don't want to spend time reliving that with you. But why do you think that it is time for you maybe not to be? You're certainly available, and if you're fit, which you will be, as you were saying, why do you say it's the end?
I just think it's a little bit of an age thing. Whilst that allows you to have the experience of play young, have a period of years out of the side, come back in, which is one of the benefits of being picked reasonably young. It's also means I've been doing it for a long time. So at the moment we're right in the middle of training for domestic cricket at the moment. So with the Canterbury side, and we've been training since the first week of July. So we've basically got through 8 weeks of training. And that's, you start looking at it's 5 times a week we're together as a group, and it's just, when you start thinking I've been doing this for 14 years and it's starting to get to the point that I will soon have played domestic cricket for as long as some of my youngest teammates have been live for, you start to think, oh, this is, I've definitely been here for a very long time. And it's not to say that you can't keep going. I mean, Mitali Raj is probably the prime example. She just keeps going, just keeps churning out runs. I think she bats just as, for as long as I've seen her play, she hasn't looked any better or worse. She's been phenomenal the whole way through. So I don't think she's aged today either, to be fair. She looks just as young almost as when she made her debut. So it's players like that definitely give you a little bit of hope that it can continue. But it's also the financial side comes into it too, unfortunately. I mean, our White Ferns players, there's 17 contracts at an international level now, which is great. And that means for a lot of them that they can be either very, very part-time working or that they can just do cricket. They are professional cricketers and have the ability to do that. And the difference between a contract of 30 to 50,000 New Zealand dollars to a domestic contract, which is 3,000, is just that's essentially just, it's just paying your petrol money, essentially. It's not even covering your costs for a season. So whilst I definitely don't play cricket for the money, you also start getting to a point that you start thinking, oh, I can't probably put off being a proper adult for too much longer, and I've got to be earning a bit of money. But the injury side comes into it as well. I mean, the body probably feels a bit older than the mind does at the moment, and that gets hard as well when it feels like you're kind of constantly on the rehab kind of train. It's you get through a season and then ankle injury, surgery, rehab for that, you come back, it's like, oh, you pick up another niggle, we rehab for that. So that gets a little tiring as well. And I just think probably with where I sit in the scheme of the New Zealand side at the moment, they've just picked a squad of 17 players. Didn't get a phone call about that, so that generally means you're pretty well off the pace. You're not probably in the next 5 or 6 injury replacements as well. So when you start looking at maybe I'm not seen in the top 25 or 30 cricketers in the country, it dampens the motivation a little bit. But I think I've still got definitely, the plan is for a few years yet, get through another couple of seasons. There's a few things I really want to tick off and a few statistical goals I'd really like to tick off with the Canterbury side as well. So they're kind of the carrot. And I guess the other thing is I'm really big on whenever you leave a team, especially as a captain or a leader or a senior player who's been around for a while, you want to leave it in a better place than where you found it. So there's a few things I'd love to do, and I'd really love the opportunity to win another title and experience that with quite a young group that we've got at Canterbury at the moment. To me, when I was lucky enough to win a few titles at the start of my career, and they're still some of my favourite memories. So I'd love the chance to provide that opportunity to some young players now, and hopefully that's a big then driver for them for the rest of their career, and they see the hard work that's gone in, and then they kind of pay it forward to the next crew as well. So yeah, hopefully looking at another couple of years, but also having to be realistic that the body might not hold up for another 10, and I've probably got to make sure that I have got some life balance, and I'm not falling too far behind career-wise as well. So it's a little bit of a juggling act, but if the body stays good and I'm still enjoying it, then I'll try and keep playing for as long as possible, because it's still my favorite thing to do.
Well, wonderful. Long may you play. But now you also have this other opportunity, which doesn't need you to sort of work 5 days a week and train, as hard as physically. I mean, yes, mentally you still have to prepare and maybe not have as many ice creams or cold drinks or whatever to look after the throat. So talk to us a little, Frankie, if you will, about how this transition occurred. I mean, there are remarkable stories about how players have made the transition. It almost become a private preserve of international cricketers around the world. But in the women's game, it's still a relatively new phenomena. And for you, how did that transition occur? Was it an event? It just sort of clicked? Somebody said, hey, I think you speak well. Why don't you come talk? Like, I remember Melanie Jones telling us that it just happened that she hadn't been picked. She happened to be in England, and someone said, we can't pick all these ladies' names. Do you mind coming into the box and talking to us? And then the rest, as they say, is history. So what's your story on that side? How did you get into the com box?
Yeah, it is a little bit like that Mel Jones story. To be fair, there was a series played in my hometown of Christchurch. The West Indies woman had come over to play New Zealand. I hadn't been selected, and they decided for the first time, it was the first time New Zealand cricket was going to put on a live stream of the games. So that was really cool, and I was really looking forward to just watching the games on the live stream and heading out to them when I could as well. But Leslie Murdoch, another commentator here, she was involved with commentating over the live stream, and there were another couple of male commentators too, and they thought we probably need a fourth person to make sure it's not a really awful, long, stressful day. So I think they were just on the lookout, and Leslie sent me a text and said, hey, would you want to come out and try your hand at doing this for the day? And I kind of jumped at the chance of like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. What a brilliant chance. But then at the same time was like, oh, how's this actually going to go? These are some of my best friends. How am I going to feel? How are they going to feel if I'm sitting in the com box critiquing what they're doing when actually we've known each other for 15 years and we went to school together, we played school cricket together, we're best friends. How's that going to go? But yeah, I thought it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. It's something I didn't necessarily think I would get the opportunity to do, but something I have always been really interested in. I guess as a bit of a cricket geek, I love listening to the commentary. I love listening to the experts and people that just have different opinions, and hearing some of the, I guess, legends of our game as well, just bouncing ideas off each other about what should be happening, what is happening, what they're doing right or wrong, or match needs to be going. So to me, I thought a lot of my learning had come out of commentary, and even my mum tells me, apparently as a young kid, I used to tell her that, man, being a commentator must be the best job in the world, mum. You just get to travel around the world, you get to watch cricket and you talk about it and you get paid for it. It just must be the best job. And saying that to her, but my sentiment hasn't really changed. There was a 3-match series with the live stream that we did well, and then after that the radio crew here, Radio Sport, they picked me up to do one of the men's games, and then Sky TV, they were interested in having me for some of the studio shows around the Women's World Cup. So got involved in those, and then next season it was like, would you want to come and do some domestic games, on a couple of international games? And from there it's just kind of grown and was involved in a breakfast show around the Men's World Cup as well, which was pretty hard work with the time difference, up all night and then presenting a show at 7 a.m. and catching a flight home from Auckland, and then basically walking straight into my day job saying, I haven't slept, please be nice to me today. But just so many good experiences, so many wonderful people being involved with, and I still just think it is the best job in the world. You sit with some legends of cricket and just chat cricket with them. It's a pretty wonderful way to spend a day.
It certainly is, and long may you prosper. Now, Now, Leslie, also we hear, picked up the phone and asked you, how do you like to get to Nepal to do the Everest Premier League? Tell us a bit about that. What is that experience like?
Yeah, that definitely was an experience. So a little bit of fake it till you make it at that stage. I'd only done a few of the live stream games and the radio. I hadn't yet done anything for TV, and then the Everest Premier League, they were asking around, and Mel initially asked Leslie, and Leslie thought, no, I can't go. I don't have any time. I'm busy with a few other things. And she said, hey, do you want to go to Nepal? And I thought, why not? Yeah, let's say yes. So I had no real idea what I was walking into, but again, just this, just a joy about cricket over there that was just so infectious that you turn up to the ground and there's 20,000 people crammed in there, and it was just this wonderful spectacle of cricket. I mean, you would turn up to the ground at 8 o'clock in the morning ahead of a 9 o'clock start, and the ground's iced over because it's been that cold overnight. So there were definitely some challenges and some new things that I've definitely never experienced before, and the odd time when the producer would get mad with us for not getting to ads quickly enough, and he would change from speaking in English to us to yelling at us in Nepali. So then we were very confused as to what happened, but you got the gist that it's like, that tone suggests that it's not great. We're not doing something very well here. So yeah, big learning curve, but they were wonderful as well. Just the opportunity to go out and to do some pitch reports and to be involved with people who'd done it for a long time, some who'd done it for a short time as well, and pre-match, post-match interviews, and just in a slightly less intense environment to do it in as well. My mum would stay up and watch the games overnight. A few people from back home at work, they would check up on the live streams and watch on YouTube and tell me I was doing a good job or not. But yeah, it just felt like it was a little bit removed. It was a really relaxed, fun, almost carnival type atmosphere. And yeah, it was just a brilliant thing to be involved in. I really hope that when that gets off the ground again, they have the opportunity to run that again, that I can get back over there, because again, just such a wonderful country, and would love the chance to go and actually do a bit of sightseeing as well, rather than fly in and just chat cricket and then head out. I think I played a couple of games here in New Zealand. The game finished up at 6 o'clock at night, and I was on the 10 p.m. flight out of New Zealand to get over there. And then the same thing flying back. I actually left before the finals, which was a little bit disappointing, but it did mean that I could fly back, and I think I had maybe 18, maybe 24 hours between getting off a plane and then playing the next domestic game as well. So it was a nice wee window, but it didn't leave much time for anything else other than cricket, which was a bit of a shame, but still a wonderful trip.
I now want to come to the part where I think you are probably the only person I know in international broadcasting or sport in cricket who is doing this juggling act of getting out of your playing gear and into your presenting gear, if I may call it that, within a space of a short time, and running up and doing it. How do you juggle stuff like that? I mean, you've just finished sort of strategizing a game, or got a quick 50, or picked up a wicket or two, maybe bruised your elbow a couple of times, and then you are getting all made up, don't want to be too sweaty. How do you handle it? It can't be easy going from playing the game to commentating on it within space of maybe a hour or so. I don't know how long. How do you juggle?
Yeah, it's definitely tough sometimes. There has been the odd occasion where you're the old skinned elbows and you jump in the shower quickly, and then it's like, oh, that's actually quite tender. Yep, didn't quite realize that. But no, I think probably, to be honest, probably the hardest part of it is just the amount of stuff I have to take to cricket. I tend to overpack rather than underpack. So by the time I've got all the gear I need for the day, all the extra things I think I might need for the day, and then a full wardrobe change and pair of shoes and everything to go with it, that's a bit of effort. And probably the hardest times is when the game that you've played in, which is generally always the morning game, hasn't gone well. That's quite a hard thing to go from, especially if it's a close loss, or if you've made some errors yourself at the back end of a game. It's quite hard to finish up, to get off the field. And I guess as a captain as well, I'm quite often leading a team debrief, so trying to have some conversations in that are pretty robust conversations at times, that are not that much fun to have, and then making sure I'm still able to connect with players and tell the people who've done a good job on the day that they have, that we still can celebrate success and do all that stuff, whilst then still having to get ready and get back up to the comm box for the next game. So it is a little tricky, but to me, I guess it's just the easy part of it is the prep work side of it. It's that, I guess, maybe from being a cricketer, maybe just the fact that I'm a bit of a cricket geek, a stats geek, to have some knowledge about all the players, be they women or men, doesn't actually feel like it's arduous, doesn't feel like work. It's still very interesting and fun to sit down and look over some video footage and to make some notes and to have some ideas about techniques and things that you are wanting to delve into a little bit more, and possibly key matchups for the games as well. So that's kind of the easy part, is getting that all done beforehand, and the hard part is just the ability to finish a game, maybe be really, really, really absolutely disappointed, change your clothes on, head upstairs, and then the first time you pick up a microphone, it's making sure that doesn't come through in your voice. You've got to come through that you're actually excited about the game that's ahead, and there's some good stuff happening. It's not, oh, here's Frankie and she sounds pretty glum because her team played badly. And some of the other commentators love to give you a bit of stick like that as well, throw you a real hospital pass of, oh, we didn't know if you were going to make it up here today after such a tough game. And it's like, oh yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, great. But no, sometimes it's really nice as well. I guess that there's also a positive in that. It's then becomes very easy to just park the game, move on, get onto the commentary. You can still end up having a really good day, a really interesting day, and sometimes just puts cricket in perspective a little bit, that it's not the end of the world. There's still other things to do. But yeah, definitely some challenges. Most of them are around just how to stop sweating. I think that's the biggest thing, is hot days and you've been running around for hours, and then it's like, no, I need to calm down. I need to get my face on. I need some nice clothes. So, but no, it's I wouldn't change it. I think it's brilliant.